Yep, I got you.
Podcast.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Knicks for Clicks. My name is Rami Lavi. That's Bryce Gelman. Last time you heard from us, we talked to Sal Licata about the Knicks. We introduced the show, but this is something we're going to be doing on Sundays, a little Sunday sauce. We're going to be doing lives at some point on Sundays, hopefully every Sunday, just to recap the week that was, talk to Knicks fans, because this is what we want to do. We want to build this community. We want to talk to the Knicks fans. We want to talk about the week that was, preview the upcoming week. So this is what we're going to be doing on Sundays. Bryce, how you doing?
What's up, dude? How's everything? How's your weekend been? How's everything going?
Busy. As you know, we both do this. We work on the weekends in this industry. So it's been fun, but I've been busy. Did a little Mark Malusis Sunday morning this morning. Some other WFAN stuff. So definitely busy, but excited to watch the Knicks. Now I got to ask you, there's three things to watch tonight. I don't know if you're a baseball guy, but there's the WBC. This is essentially the final because it's U.S. against the Dominican. Whoever wins this game is winning the final. I think that's fair to say. So that's one option. The Oscars is another option. But I don't know. Diehards like us, we're probably watching Knicks Warriors, right?
I think everyone's going to be watching Knicks Warriors. I don't think anyone's going to be watching the Oscars. No one's going to be watching the World Baseball Classic. They want to watch the Knicks versus a team that's missing 9 of their players. 9 of their rotation players. It's the Knicks, Josh Hart's back against Guy Santos and Pajemski, Brandon Pajemski. I always mess up the pronunciation of Pajemski. But it's literally the entire Knicks team versus those two guys. I think Quentin Post is out too.
I wish Karl Anthony Towns would go on a podcast and talk. I mean, we love, obviously, our Odyssey brother, Draymond Green, who does the podcast for Odyssey. But I wish Karl Anthony Towns, maybe we'll invite him on WFAN so that he could say that Draymond is dodging me, because that's what happened last time when Karl Anthony Towns sat against the Warriors. Draymond's like, well, he's just dodging me. So maybe we can kind of reverse that, send that back to him, because it's a ridiculous narrative that's created. This is a losing season for the Warriors. They're not going anywhere. And the Knicks are a team that a game like this, much like the last game against the Pacers and the upcoming game later this week against the Pacers, these are games that are kind of like ho-hum. What about the game against the Jazz, where we feel like, oh my God, they can't lose this game? And this is the frustrating part of this regular season. If they lose, it's a disaster. But there's really no positive, right? If they win, it's like, okay, we had to win that game. So
yeah,
how do you approach a game like that?
Well, especially a game like tonight against the Warriors. And I know that's what you're getting at, but like it is a lose-lose, because you lose, it's the sky is falling, it's Chicken Little all day long. And then if you win again, like you said, it's all right. Well, you should have won that game. You just got to win. No one's going to be looking. No one's going to be thinking twice about where this team is going based off what happens tonight. You know what I mean? Like, no one is going to create conclusions in their mind about where the Knicks are going following a game against a team that is quite literally missing their 9 players. By the way, Quentin Post is playing. So the Knicks are playing Quentin Post, Brandon Pajemski, and Guy Santos. Those are 3 players. And
by the way, when the Knicks are down 10 in the first quarter because those guys are hitting a bunch of threes, we're going to be MFing all over the place.
100%. 100%. Well, I was texting with you the night of the Jazz game, and in that first half, what a disaster that was. They went down by, I think, 20 points in that first half.
18. They were down 49-31.
Yes. So basically 20 points. They were a disaster. They couldn't hit water if they fell out of a boat from everywhere. And
they didn't want to play defense.
Like the Jazz, like you just get some of these games where the other team, no matter how bad they are, have a magnet ball game. They can't miss to save their lives. They were at some point, I mean, they were shooting like 85% from 3 after like 10 to 15 threes. It was a disaster. But the Knicks came back and, led by Jordan Clarkson. I want to get into
which is
Jordan
unbelievable.
Clarkson. Yeah, I wanted to talk about this. We obviously haven't done anything since. I think you really have to give credit to Mike Brown. This entire year has been experimenting with guys from the top to the bottom of this roster. Of course, you're going to get your best players playing a lot, but he has been able to weave in and out guys like Tyler Kolek, even Kevin McCullough. He also got run. He also had a few big moments this year. Like
the Atlanta game. Who can forget?
I'm pretty sure I missed that game. I had something going on, but I opened my phone.
I put out a whole TikTok after that game about how like this season is so much fun because even on nights when you don't expect it, someone steps up, something stupid like that. But yes, that's why I remember that game.
I'm like, there's no way. I just opened my phone. This guy hit multiple threes. Yes. It was the reason why the Knicks won a game. So that's what we've seen this year from Mike Brown. I do think he deserves a pat on the back for what Tom Thibodeau was so unwilling to do last year and what the fans were clamoring so much for. We've seen this over and over again now. And it was just another example the other night with Jordan Clarkson, Rami.
Yeah, and what's interesting for me about that game, let me just paint the picture. I had to get up at 3 a.m. or 3:45 in the morning to go I was doing the warm-up show on WFAN at 5 and then producing the morning show, Boomer and Gio. So I just want to go to sleep. I don't want to watch this game, but the Knicks are sucking me in because what I expected to be an easy win, they're now in a tough battle. And then he brings in Jordan Clarkson. And I don't know if you know this, but he's brought in Jordan Clarkson a few times in the last few games when they've been struggling to get something going offensively. Mike Brown's gone to him. So again, credit to Mike Brown. And Jerry Recco said it on the morning show. And I love what Jerry said, because Jerry said, hey, this is what's great about this Knicks team. This is why this Knicks team can win a championship, because on any given night, they're so much deeper than last year. Anyone can step up. And that was just proof of it. You mentioned Kevin McCullough, even a guy like Dadier. Like, there are guys on this team.
Dadier got into the game the other night. I was losing my mind against the Pacers.
And then he hits a logo three and then goes yesterday to Westchester or whatever and dominates there. It's unbelievable. Dude,
I was losing my mind. I'm like, am I imagining things? That's what I tweeted. And I literally took my phone out when he came into the game. My roommates were like, ooh, why is Bacome Dadier? And I'm like, yes, that's exactly what I'm tweeting. Why the hell is Bacome Dadier in? And he did hit that logo three and then did absolutely nothing after that. And he was benched for the rest of the game. But we have seen guys like that. We've seen, of course, everyone's savior, the Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ himself, Muhammad Diawara, who was hanging out with Mamdani. I'm sure a lot of people aren't too happy about that, but that's pretty cool. I mean, Mo Diawara.
Every WFAN caller went from, I love this guy, to this guy can't be on the team anymore.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Listen, you say what you want about, because everyone has the same political opinion about the whole thing with Team USA and whether they go to the White House or not. Okay, if you're going to have that take, stay consistent. This is the mayor of New York. He's got motion now. Let him hang out with the mayor. It doesn't matter who it is.
And by the way, not a bad shooting motion. Speaking of motion,
I know
he hit a shot.
He did. Everyone wants to hate on him for a multitude of different reasons. I think you can't knock him down a peg for hanging out with Mo Diawara. That's all I'm going to say about that. We had to touch on that a little bit. But, going into this game tonight, I think that the Knicks, this is as must win comes, being where they are in the standings, having a 2-game lead now over the Cleveland Cavaliers. They're a game and a half behind the Celtics. Just stay consistent. Win these games. We talked about it before. The Knicks need to get the 2nd or the 3rd seed here. If they continue to put some space, put some distance between them and the Cavs, I'll feel a lot better. And Rami, it definitely starts with tonight.
Yes, and not only putting distance between them and the Cavs, I think catching the Celtics is important. If you see the numbers that Jason Tatum has so far since he's come back this year, he's going to be a factor, like it or not. I've talked about all year, I'm not scared of the Celtics. I'm not scared of the Celtics. We had them on the ropes down 3-1 before he got hurt. I'm not scared of them. But now I'm kind of watching the Celtics. I'm like, you know what? They're a really good team. I would like to have the Knicks have been significantly better at home than on the road this year. And I know they won those 2 magical games at TD Garden last year in the playoffs. I'd really like to have home court advantage. If you can catch the Celtics, and that's what we started this stream talking about. We started this show talking about how, what do you watch these regular season games for? When they're playing games that are seemingly meaningless, it's to get closer to that 2 seed. It's to try and catch Boston. It's to try and overtake them. That's what we're rooting for. We want them to win every night. It's why you and I are going to be watching it. Yes, we'll be watching the baseball. No, we won't be watching the Oscars, but we'll have other things on in the background. And hopefully the Knicks are up 20 in the first quarter. That's how this game should go, honestly. Will it? Probably not. But hopefully they'll make it easy for us tonight. They can't seem to do that. But the point is, there's something to root for, because these games maybe don't matter what happens in them, but they still need to stack the wins, because stacking the wins is the best way for them to go into the playoffs hot, to go into the playoffs ready, and for them to have the best possible advantage in the playoffs when they face Boston, likely in the 2nd round.
Yeah, I mean, it's someone who needs to have a big game tonight. I'm sure you can guess.
Are you
Mikal Bridges?
Yes,
Mikal Bridges. I mean, I the other night against the Jazz, I looked at the box score the other night, and I opened it up again to remind myself of how bad this was, because I wanted the exact figure. The entire team, of course, they won the game by 17 points. Guess what Mikal Bridges' plus minus was in that game?
I think he was a -4.
-13.
Oh my God.
-13 in a game that they won by 17 points. Of course, he doesn't close the game, but he plays 27 minutes. And those other 21 minutes, they get demolished. He has become the Achilles heel of the team. And
he's a liability.
He is at times. And I'm glad that the Knicks were still able to win a game that he played that poorly, because he cannot be the be-all, end-all for this team. You can't look at Mikal Bridges and say, you know what, that guy needs to have a good game for them to win. You can't have that. You want to have issues going forward. You want to have issues come playoff time. He needs to play well. And to his credit, he did perform in those first 2 games against the Celtics last year, which they won. They are a much better team when he plays well, but when he doesn't, they cannot let that get to them. And getting the production they got off the bench from Jordan Clarkson was massive, because other than him, who do you really trust to come off the bench and score? Deuce McBride's still out. Right. Like, Jose Alvarado is one of the worst 3-point shooters in the NBA since he got.
Isn't it a miracle that he hit 8 threes against or was it 8 or 9 threes against the Sixers?
I think it was 9.
Like, that's a miracle. So watching him shoot since then.
He used up all of his shooting prowess in that one game against the Sixers. But yeah, I mean, listen, like Mikal Bridges, man, like we have become frustrated. I know I'm preaching to the choir. I'm obviously speaking for you. I'm speaking for a multitude of other Knicks fans out there. Like, the lack of aggressiveness is killing me, man.
Yeah,
I'm infuriated watching this.
But a spin zone here, because this is the only positive. And Sal said it on the show with us also last week. And if you haven't seen it, go back, watch it, listen. Sal Licata was awesome. He was on our debut episode of Knicks for Clicks. Sal said it. At any point, that player is in there. The guy who played for Brooklyn is in there. The guy that we've seen in spurts at times, the guy that we saw against the Spurs on Christmas last year, the guy we saw, like we said, in some of the playoff games last year, is in there somewhere. If he can just bring that out when the time is right, when they are in a tough game against Boston and they need to find some scoring. Jalen's getting double teamed by guys who are bigger than him. He can't get it going. Karl Anthony Towns is in foul trouble. If Mikal steps up in those moments and is the guy that we know he's capable of being, then we'll forget all of this. Then we won't even talk about it. It won't be a talking point anymore. So it goes back to, again, there's going to be a theme here, but it goes back to the point of the regular season. Like, yes, we want to see him play well. We want to know that guy's still in there, but I don't think anyone thinks that guy's not in there anymore. It didn't just disappear.
Don't see it too often. We don't see that too often.
But he's still, as long as you believe he's still capable of being that guy, as long as it comes out at the right time when they need it most, we're going to have to live with the results until then.
And if I asked you straight up, answering this,
yes,
what do you think Mikal Bridges' best facet of his game is? Just answer that straight up.
Mid-range game.
Okay. I thought you were going to go defense. And I thought you were going to say on-ball defense, because his point of attack defense is good. Don't get me wrong. It's good. He, as a defender, as a guy who's 6'6", at least he's got a great wingspan. He's very good at the passing lanes. He's an off-ball defender. Don't get me wrong. Amazing. The deflections, the steals, whatever. Yep. As an on-ball defender, he has become a liability. He has, especially against bigger guards. How many times have we seen guys like Jaylen Brown? How many times have we seen guys like Cade Cunningham destroy him, eat him for lunch? And that is the type of player that you are going to get. Like yes, the offensive prowess comes and goes, right? Like, sometimes he'll hit threes. Sometimes he'll play confidently. Sometimes he'll be a facilitator and a game changer. You can't make him bulk up.
Correct.
You can't make him eat 25 sandwiches on the bench to the point where he's the same size as those two guys, especially because, like, we're talking, teams that actually could beat the Knicks. Like, those are two teams. And Mikal Bridges can't stop them. And that is, like, if he's not bringing it offensively, like, why play him at all?
Yeah, and that's where you're getting such a better effort, at least strength-wise, like you talk about from Shamet defensively.
Yep.
Like, on-ball defense. Maybe he's not the guy in the passing lanes. He's not the guy on help defense. He's not running around in rotations, although he does that too to an extent. But on-ball defense, we've now seen multiple times where Shamet sometimes, I mean, in the game against the Lakers, there were times where he's matched up one-on-one against LeBron or against Luka, and these guys are so much bigger than him, and he's still just giving a great effort defensively and strength. And again, if Deuce McBride does come back for a second round series, like, he's going to get minutes also over Mikal. And like you said, if he's not giving you, if he's not giving you the production offensively and he's a liability defensively, because what they want to do, and I do think once they get to the playoffs, I think OG will guard Cade Cunningham if they get to that point, because he's the only guy who can't beat you, right? You can't let Cade beat you, and so you got to throw OG on him. But I think what they've tried to do so far this year is put Mikal on him and send a second defender over and over again. But he's getting cooked. Like, that's the problem. That's been the problem, that he's getting cooked so much that that you can't do that anymore. So where is his role on this team? And to your point, I said at any point he could step up offensively and he could start contributing. But if he's playing himself off the floor with his defense, he's not going to have the opportunity to step up offensively.
Yeah, that's a good point. Definitely true vice versa. But like he hasn't been, listen, there hasn't been at any point this year where you've gotten more frustrated with this defense than his offense. Like, can you remember a single time where you're like, all right, well, this guy, his defense, like he's hitting shots, but like he can't guard on the other end. It's always the opposite. Always. You're always more frustrated with what he's bringing offensively, because if he's bringing it offensively, you're not as focused on his miscues on the defensive end. And that hasn't happened. So I do understand the sentiment of like, all right, like he's got to show up on the offensive end, but defensively, like whatever. But like, I want to be able to look at him and be like, all right, well, he's not hitting his shots. He doesn't look so confident on the offensive end, but on defense, he's got 3 steals. He's got, 5 stocks. He's got to play. The issue is the Knicks have like this is an amazing issue. Like it's a good issue to have.
It's an issue we wish we had last year.
Exactly. You have the depth off the bench of guys who can come in and defend. When Deuce comes back, with Alvarado, and you got Shamet, 3 guys who play or could play the same position as Mikal Bridges. Like if Mikal was like 6'9", like the size of Diawara and matched up against bigger guys, like that'd be a problem. You can't really replicate any guy off the bench. Like Diawara, definitely, but like.
But by the way, even Diawara, like if Mikal's not giving you the production offensively, then you'd rather have Diawara's defense out there, right?
100%.
Like, so there's just, like you said, there's so many guys that you'd put out there in front of you. You know what's funny? We talk about this all the time in baseball, like with Anthony Volpe, where it's like when you're struggling at the plate, don't bring it to the field with you. And I wonder if there's some of that going on now with Bridges, where his struggles offensively and him not finding his groove in the offense, if he's bringing that to the defensive side of the floor with him.
Do you know who we saw that from a lot?
Who?
Julius Randle.
Correct.
Julius Randle. Mm-hmm. Always.
But that was different. That was more like, okay, I'm going to get angry and I'm going to foul and I'm going to turn the ball over and I'm going to go at double teams. That was more similar to Karl Anthony Towns. Obviously,
yes,
Karl's a much better player, but it was more like, man, his head's not in it because he's getting frustrated offensively. Do you feel like Mikal's head isn't in it because he's just playing poorly? I don't think his head's not in it.
Yeah, no, I here's the thing, dude. Like, you don't really get that mentality where you look at that guy and you're like, he's not playing to win, but you never look at the guy and he's like, that guy is giving his all. Like in the Celtics series, you saw it. You saw it in both of those games. I cannot remember the last time I saw that fire in him. I can't. He comes onto the floor and he doesn't play. He doesn't play exactly how you'd like him to play, because listen, part of showing heart, part of looking like you're giving it all is being aggressive.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, what's up?
Do you think, and this is a theory I've had for a little bit, I've never whipped it out yet, but it's a brewing theory I've had for the last couple of weeks.
Pause.
Yeah. All right. The theory I have working is, do you think the games played streak is messing with him mentally, where we've talked about him being afraid of going to the rim. Now we're talking about slow and lack of effort and physicality on defense. Do you think the streak means so much to him that he's afraid to get hurt and lose the streak? Whereas maybe if Mike Brown just sat him one game and the streak was over and you didn't have to worry about that anymore, like it wasn't a thing anymore, all of a sudden he's playing physically again. He's giving more effort. He doesn't have to worry about, okay, if I get hurt and miss a couple of games, that's okay. I can sacrifice my body a little bit more. You think there's anything to that?
I think it's the opposite. The reason why he has such a long streak is because of his lack of aggression.
Oh,
that's the only reason why.
That's fair.
If you haven't missed a game since high school, what the F is going on? I really want.
You're not playing physical.
I don't know if we're an explicit podcast yet.
We haven't decided yet.
I'd love for that. My grandpa would not. But
if we have your guy BT on, then all of a sudden, trust me, he's going to be throwing him around.
Yeah, I know. Let's hope that he actually gets back to you. Whatever happens.
Oh, he'll get back to me.
Yeah, what a guy.
You text Sal yet?
I did. Sal and I were talking. I'm
okay, good.
Him tomorrow, and we'll set up a time to chat. I need to pick Sal's brain about it.
He's the best.
Sal's a great guy. I know this now. I noticed now. I drastically this is one of those words. That's misunderestimated is one of those words. That's not a word, but I misunderestimated him.
You misjudged him.
Misjudged, yes, his character. He's a lot nicer of a guy than I thought. But no, listen, we got to iron that out because I'm definitely someone like that. People don't love that. My family members, they don't like that. So unfortunate for them. If we decide against that, we'll do it. But no, I mean, it's because of that. It's because of his lack of aggression. Like if you haven't missed a game since high school, something's off. Yeah, that doesn't happen. This isn't, and listen, I'm not saying that he's never played through an injury. I'm not saying that he's not, banged up every once in a while. But dude, I mean, like he's not Superman. He doesn't have bionic, he doesn't have vibranium. You know what I mean? Like this is not the type of guy that's superhuman.
Yep.
You get hurt from taking the ball to the basket. You get hurt by showing aggression.
Yeah, getting caught in a tough screen. Yeah, fighting over a screen. Yeah,
that was such a selling point behind him. That's why you gave up all those picks. You know he's going to show up.
He's a gamer.
But in the games that he shows up, is he aggressive? Does he constantly take the ball to the basket? No, none of that occurs. So you're very, we as Knicks fans, a lot of people like to tout that. Oh, he doesn't miss games.
I mean, if you always look, the Knicks had the Iron Man. You know what I mean? Like
come on, like that's really what we're selling people here. Like that's what the Nets sold the Knicks. You want to give us all these picks? Fine. Look at this. The guy doesn't miss games. You're paying a premium for a guy that's always going to be out on the floor, which of course is valuable, but not when he's playing with his head up his ass like this. And we need to see a deviation from this. We need to see a deviation from the mean.
And maybe that's why in the playoffs, all of a sudden he turns it up a little bit more because I guess the streak doesn't count in the playoffs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can always say, I still have the regular season streak. We saw him. There were fourth quarters where he was starting the fourth quarter with Jalen on the bench and giving them such a spark offensively and going to the rim and being more aggressive offensively. And obviously the plays at the end of the game defensively against Boston. So we need to see more of that. But what I will say, and this is just a positive spin, but we've now had 2 episodes, and I'd say the biggest point of contention with the team so far has been Mikal Bridges, which tells you that this is a positive thing. Like, this is a good season. The fact that that's the worst problem right now is that our 4th best player, because that's really what he is not delivering the way we hoped. And at this point, he's not even been the 4th most important guy because there have been other guys who have stepped up. Mitchell Robinson, what he does the other, that is insane. Like, you get that demon in the playoffs on a nightly basis. The sky's the limit for this team. It's just there's layers and layers to this team, and I know you have to run soon, but that's the positive part of this. That's the hope that you look at this team and you could say, that we could see them winning a championship or even going to a finals because of all the different positives that you have. And if you just cross your fingers and hope that Mikal Bridges reverts into the guy that we hope he could be, I mean, it's just another layer of how good this team is.
Did you ever for once think that when you opened that notification that the Knicks were trading for Mikal Bridges, that he'd ever be the 5th most important player on the team?
Or the thing we were complaining about the most? Right?
What?
Like I said, or the thing that we were complaining about the most.
Yeah. No, I know. I don't think anyone expected that. The fact that they gave up that much, and listen, we're not going to sit here and beat a dead horse. That narrative hopefully won't present itself as much as it has in the past. Again, this regular season. Hopefully, the flip side of the argument that everyone was saying last year is like, well, you won those first 2 games against the Celtics. That's what you paid for, right? Well, have we seen it at all? Have we seen that value to this team at all this year?
How many picks is those 2 wins against the Celtics worth? Because we're really leaning on those.
1.
Right. Okay. So he still needs to make up for 4 picks.
4 and a swap. Maybe a pick and a swap. There you go. Yeah. And then he's got to make up for 4. But listen, I think that yes, if he does that again in the playoffs, then dude, nothing matters nothing matters in the regular season.
You want something to watch for tonight? A game that a lot of guys are sitting for the Warriors, a game that's meaningless, quote unquote, theoretically. Tonight would be a nice night to just see him get going offensively because the last few nights have been, even by his standard, which hasn't been great, it's been worse than his standard. And so for him to just have a game where he's where the Garden's cheering for him and he's hitting shots and he's hitting those corner threes, just that alone. And even if he's locking down Brendan Pajemski, just lock down someone defensively that we could see and give us a little bit of hope for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I mean, I think that he's going to get a lot of run as the number one guy in the offense tonight. I think there's no other excuse. You look, if you're Mike Brown, you look at this lineup, you look at the box scores lately, and you're thinking, who do I need to get going tonight? That's your guy.
This is the night. And again, the game, and the other positive, I'll just say one last positive, is tickets to watch Knicks games are extremely expensive. If you want to go see the Knicks later this week, I think it's Tuesday night against Indiana. It's probably as cheap as you're going to get it the rest of the year. So hop on the opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's no such thing as cheap Knicks tickets, but
correct.
You know, as a single man, I'm you know, on Hinge, you see all these girls and like the way to win me over, take me to a Knicks game. How about you go fuck yourself? I'm not taking you. Sorry, I mean, like, I guess we might be
now we're a swearing podcast.
Go fuck yourself. You think I'm going to spend $200 on our first date to go to a Knicks game?
200? How are you getting?
Well, no, that's in for I'm not taking you to the Lakers game. I'm not dropping $1,000 on you, the girl that I've never met in my life. Come on,
for two people, and then
what do you think I am?
Food, drinks. That is $600.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think? I'm in private equity? Come on,
yeah,
I'm not spending that money. No one should in their right mind. I don't care how much money you have. You don't do that.
More Ash isn't paying you enough for the podcast.
No. We could do 3 years of podcasts, and I still wouldn't be able to afford taking a girl to a Knicks game. All right, that'll do it. I got to run. I got another podcast to record, which of course happens. It's going to be happening during this Knicks game. They got it during this Knicks game. Can you imagine?
Yes, exactly.
More important, like Knicks, Celtics. But this was fun. Every Sunday, we're going to be consistent with this. I know Rami and I, you know, we're both very busy. I work every Sunday morning, but like we will get this out. Trust me, we will. You could stay tuned. You know, stick to each one of our social media feeds and stay tuned. We're gonna have a lot of stuff, not just pre games or post games. You know, no one really cares about this game, but this is more just to get our faces and voices.
Sometimes it might be watch-alongs if they play on a Sunday afternoon or whatever it is. I don't know the schedule off the top of my head the rest of the year, but yes, we'll be doing these on Sundays lives. We want to talk to you guys, so in the comments and all that stuff. So we'll have some fun with it. Yeah,
and just don't comment all that stupid stuff. We got a lot of wrestling fans. It's Stone Cold. Weird. I don't know. You check those out. All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you all probably this week. We'll have a little pod out. So stay tuned. Thanks, guys.
Right. See you.